All right, a pleasant good evening to you and yours, and welcome to the Brevard Sports Network. Alan Slaughterzinski with you here, running a couple of audio and video tests, if you will, to make sure that tonight's broadcast will go off without a hitch. We are live from Richard Dick Blake Stadium, where the Cocoa Tigers will be hosting the Denellen Tigers tonight in a battle of, well, obviously Tigers, right? And Coco comes in at 10-1. Denellen 8-3. This is no pun intended, but this is certainly a tale of two offenses here. Grab a tiger by the tail, right? This is certainly a tale of two offenses when you're looking at how these two teams have reached this point in the season. For Denellen, it's all about the ground game. There's no doubt about it. They don't try to hide it. They don't try to disguise it. They run the football, and very, very little will they put the football in the air. In fact, Coco's Javen Boggs and C.J. Bragg, each with 63 catches this year. The entire Denellen receiving corps with just 35. So that tells you anything about the type of offense that you can expect to see tonight from Denellen. There you have it. But it doesn't mean they don't do it well, because they do. Make no mistake about it, Denellen runs the football very, very well. Offensively, they have rushed for nearly 3,100 yards. They're averaging almost 8 yards per carry, and they're putting up 35 points a game. As for the Cocoa Tigers, we wrote today that their play selection and their play distribution has been reliable as death and taxes under Ryan Schneider, because you're going to see more of the pass and less of the run when it comes to the Tigers' offense. It's 58% of the time they're putting it in the air, 42% of the time on the ground. How about the season this year that sophomore quarterback Brady Hart has had? Hart has just been terrific this year. 26 out of 312, 66% completion percentage, nearly 2,800 passing yards. He's got 35 touchdowns and just 7 INTs this year. Latterson Lane has really rejuvenated the Cocoa rushing attack. The sophomore, 752 rushing yards this year, 9 touchdowns, 3 100-yard games, and he is spelled quite nicely, I might add, by Malachi Coney back there. That receiving corps for Cocoa is pretty special. For the second time under head coach Ryan Schneider, they have an opportunity to have not one, but 2,000-yard receivers. Of course, Ohio State commit Javen Boggs has already reached that point, and just 92 yards away is the senior C.J. Bragg. Now, that would be the fourth time in program history that Cocoa, or it is the fourth time in program history that Cocoa has a 1,000-yard receiver, or at least under Ryan Schneider, that is. I shouldn't say in program history, under Ryan Schneider, because in Coach Schneider's first year in 2018, he had 2, and Isaiah Jones and Willie Gaines. Jones, of course, at Syracuse, and Gaines playing for Coach Prime at Colorado. The last Cocoa Tiger to have 1,000-plus receiving yards in a year, Jamari A. Robinson, and what a catch he made last week. And he's out at Washington State. And, of course, this year, Javen Boggs, who is committed to Ohio State University. I want to say hello to everybody watching here tonight. And no, we're excited. This is one of 3 games on the network tonight. The other 2, O'Galley is hosting Sebring, and Melbourne Central Catholic is hosting Halifax Academy. Other games in Brevard County, not in the county, but for Brevard County high school football teams tonight, include Rockledge, who is visiting number 5, or Rockledge is number 5. They are visiting number 1 Mainland tonight up in Daytona. They'll take on the top-seeded Bucks. Titusville headed to Bushnell, Florida tonight, where they'll take on the second seed in Region 2S, in Class 2S Region 3 in South Sumter. The winner of that game will play the winner of this game next Friday right here on Brevard Sports Network. So that rounds out the teams in 2S. And of course, we told you about Holy Trinity or Melbourne Central Catholic. Now we'll tell you about Holy Trinity. They travel over to Tampa tonight to play Trinity Catholic. Don't be fooled by the 3-7 record from Trinity Catholic. They have played a gauntlet of a schedule, including 6 teams that have 9 wins this season. We mentioned that Coco offense. It's only fair to mention the 2023 version of the dark side defense. You look at that defense and just how good it has been this season. Damian Parham and Samadre Hawkins, the 2 leaders of that defense in terms of tackles. Parham, 101 tackles this season. Hawkins with 100. But those 2 aren't the only ones that'll bring you down. How about Josh Brown, Javion Hilson, Nathan Chason, Dwayne Guilford? All of them do a really, really good job. In fact, Hilson leads the team with 11 sacks this season. The big question mark for the Tigers defensively coming into this season would be how would they replace 4 seniors in the secondary? Well, O'Keefe Battle, Dwayne Guilford, and C.J. Hester, 3 sophomores, have done a terrific job at that, each of them with 2 INTs this season. You know, we often say that kicking game is such an important aspect of it, and you don't need to look any further than the Tigers losing the 2019 or the 2021 state championship to Cardinal Gibbons, in which they didn't have a regular everyday place kicker. And then last year when they did win the state championship, and Maal Saito last year in that state championship game nailed all 5 of his extra points and a 27-yard field goal to give the Tigers an early 3-0 lead in that state championship game last year. Well, the Tigers with another exceptional kicker again this year in Gunnar Trout. Gunnar handles both the kicking and the punting duties this year. Gunnar 9 from 14 with a long of 39. He's 51 out of 54 on his PATs in punting this year, which the Tigers haven't really done, but he's done it 22 times, a 36-yard average, a long of 57, and 7 inside the 20. The stage is set. The Tigers, both of them, are ready. Coco Donnellon coming up at 7:30.